Welcome to the T-Pac Arcade. Today's game is Macross Scrambled Valkyrie for the Nintendo Super Famicom. In this 1993 shoot-'em-up from Zamuse and Winkysoft, which by the way sounds like a development team of tiny magic elves coding games in a mushroom forest, there's some sort of intergalactic battle going on that ties in with the Macross TV series, which I'm not too familiar with. See, I've got a low tolerance for anime, but an overstated love for cartoon robots blasting each other with lasers, so even though I can't get into the Macross shows, the Macross video games are perfect for me. Because they're only like 5% anime and 95% cartoon robots blasting each other with lasers. The gameplay here is pretty straightforward space shooter fare. You've got 7 levels of mechanical enemy craft and bosses to blast through. There's a deep space void scattered with floating battleship shrapnel, a stormy mountainous seascape echoing with thunder and lightning, a flooding missile factory full of, well, missiles, a pointy rock cavern that you fly through at the speed of sound, a futuristic city flashing with billboards of anime characters, curses, a giant mothership covered in laser turrets, and a creepy biomechanical fortress outfitted with electric orbs trying to zap you into oblivion. Not to mention all the enemies that are also trying to zap you into oblivion, like the blinky spinning dodecahedrons of Dodeca Death, an orb-spitting pink wormy thing, the diabolical red blaster quartet that tries to shoot you from behind closing gates, some kind of hulking robotic grasshopper, or maybe it's more like a beetle, I don't know. Shell orbs that look like deadly Christmas ornaments, a swarm of little angry shellfish bots defending a big angry shellfish bot, and of course, the obligatory giant alien fetus end boss, which sounds like an unsettling novelty, but if you've played a fair number of classic Japanese anime space shooters, you're bound to have run into at least a few giant alien fetus end bosses before. They're basically a genre staple. What is a novelty, though, is the weapon system in Scrambled Valkyrie. Your fighter craft has 3 different forms: a jet, a mech, and something in between. And each form has a different weapon that can be upgraded twice for max power. Since you can change forms at will, the name of the game is switching to the best attack for each situation, and maintaining all of their power levels, since getting hit downgrades your cannons along with draining your life bar. And what's more, you can choose between 3 different pilots whose fighter craft all have their own weapons. Pilot 2 has a spread gun, a weird short-range laser appendage, and a homing shot, and Pilot 3 has an arcing crescent shot and 2 fire blasters. But I stuck with Pilot 1 since its weapons actually give you some defense from above and below. The jetform laser in particular is pretty overpowered when it's fully upgraded, because it beams right through the environment and populates around you to make a nice safe rain and puddle barrier, if you will. Another unique twist is that when you stop firing, you build up this aura around your ship, and if you fly over one of the popcorn enemies with this aura, they'll essentially turn into a satellite option and attack the other bad guys for you. This mechanic is honestly a bit underutilized, and only a few enemies can actually be captured like this, but it's a neat idea anyway. Macross Scrambled Valkyrie is a visual treat. Even in the places where its graphics are pretty standard space shooter fare, there's a cohesiveness that few other games in the genre seem to pull off. Everything just fits so nicely together. And in the places where the graphics venture into their own territory, they really shine. Case in point, the vibrant, flashy, futuristic city level, and the various mech enemies. The cutscene transition graphics can be pretty cool too, but what I really love is the accompanying, poorly translated text blurbs. "We sought a new machine for the fighting. Now the time to scramble Valkyrie again." I don't know what you're saying, but I agree. As far as I'm aware, the Macross TV series is known for its music, and this game adaptation seems to share that high point. All the chiptunes are well composed and exciting, except when they occasionally fade abruptly into 90s synth pop. But I think that's a direct reference to something from the series, so I'll forgive it. Plus, I can't stay mad at this game's soundscape when it includes my favorite feature, garbled voice samples every time you max out your cannon upgrades. Max power. Scrambled Valkyrie is approachable in that the game doesn't ever get too technically punishing, but brutal in the fact that it only offers limited continues. I was able to clear easy mode, but only after extensive practice with save states to learn all the level layouts and boss patterns. My favorite part of this game is the different gimmicks in every level. Stage 1 has black holes that suck you in while you try not to get pelted by shrapnel. Stage 2 has enemies that turn into falling hazards instead of blowing up when they're hit. Stage 3 has rising water and naval minefields. Stage 4 is the obligatory speed level. Stage 5 has dangling electric wires from upside down buildings. Stage 6 rains asteroids, or maybe moon chunks. They kind of look like moon chunks. And Stage 7 is littered with barbed pathways that you can only clear with certain weapons. If I could change one thing here, I'd make every form of your fighter craft the same speed. See, the jet is the fastest and the mech is the slowest, which makes sense to balance out the relative potency of their weapons, but I just can't dodge stuff as the mech. And obviously, I want to be the mech because it's the coolest. Obviously. Overall, Macross Scrambled Valkyrie was everything I wanted out of an anime-based space shooter. That is to say, 5% anime, 95% cartoon robots blasting each other with lasers. And even where the anime does sneak in here and there, it's got enough style to be perfectly welcome. Even the giant alien fetus end boss.